Hey everyone, yesterday Elgato announced their new Cam Link 4K. What I've got here is the original Cam Link. Now, this Cam Link can do 1080p at 60 frames per second, but if I jump over to my browser here, you can see that the new Cam Link 4K can also do 4K at 30 frames per second. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Cam Link can be used with DSLRs, with camcorders, with just any camera. You can use it with an action camera as well. And you can see it there, 1080p, 60 frames per second, 2160p, 30 frames per second, so 4K. It would have been good to get 4K at 60 frames per second, but I do realise there's, kind of limitations with technology right now. You'd maybe need a bigger device for that. So looking at the device and looking what they've got advertised, it pretty much looks identical. This one can do 1080p at 60 frames per second. Looks like the new one is identical in size and weight and all that, but it can also do 4K at 30 frames per second. And the most interesting thing I think is that the size is the same. And if I take all the adapters off here, the size is really good. Get that in focus. But I think the biggest thing is that the price is the same. They aren't, charging double. And that's something that's quite pleasing. The Cam Link retails about £120, $130 normally. You do sometimes get, 10 or 20 off, if there's a deal out there. But it kind of holds its price quite well. It's not too expensive, and I think for the functionality that it adds, I think it's a great buy, because it essentially allows you to turn your camera into a top-notch webcam. Now upstairs, I've not actually been using my Cam Link too much, but I am very reluctant to sell it because I think this thing is so versatile. It's very easy to take with you somewhere with your laptop. It's very small. Of course, when you add in lots of adapters to attach to your camera, it can get a little bit bigger, but it's certainly a more portable solution than something like this. This is the Elgato HD60S. Now upstairs, I'm actually using this more often than the Cam Link, mainly because this can also be used for gameplay. Now, 1080p at 60 frames per second here, I can plug in my PlayStation or my Wii U or anything else I want, my RetroPie. I can plug those in and I can record gameplay, and I can also record from my camera. So I've just got it set up so that I can just switch between gameplay and an overhead camera, like the RX10. That's what I use with this. I would say, generally speaking, I would say performance with this is slightly better, not by much, but I've always found this to be a little bit more reliable than the Cam Link. But I love the versatility of the Cam Link. It allows you to turn any webcam, or any camera into a webcam. An action camera, DSLR, full frame camera, whatever you've got. Now, as far as me right now, buying the new Cam Link 4K, not right now for me. But the reason being that the camera I'm recording with right now can do 4K, but it's really cropped and it just isn't practical for it. But I am looking at some 4K camcorders. I'm looking at some 4K micro four thirds cameras like the Panasonic GH4 and 5. And if I get one of those and those can do 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, I might look for the Cam Link 4K. Even if I don't actually stream at 4K, what it will allow me to do is record at 4K and scale it down, or even if I'm only recording the that 4K signal, I can send it into with the browsers at 1080p, but the 4K signal from the camera is coming in. It should, in theory, give me a much better picture. So yeah, kudos to Elgato. I haven't tested the Cam Link 4K, but I've got a lot of experience with this one. I know it's going to be good, and in my opinion, the ability to turn any camcorder or camera into a webcam is worth the money. £120, $130, it isn't too much. So yeah, it's kind of much the same. It's a new version of this. It can do 4K at 30 frames per second. So if you're looking to turn one of your fancy cameras, your action camera, into a webcam, if you're doing videos, I'd highly recommend checking the Cam Link 4K out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to hear from you, so please do leave a comment below, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.